it's such a cool situation. And if you put it into perspective, like the last couple of people we were talking about, Jeff Jarrett, Jeff Hardy, Conan,
Yeah,
Road Dogg,
yeah,
and like 10 years prior to this, you were the biggest fan in the world, and half of them were
yo,
people you watched weekly, you
yes,
know?
those were guys I was at Toys R Us buying their figures of. Like couldn't wait to buy them, couldn't wait to spend that money. And now, like, we're peers. Like, that's insane.
And not only are they your peers, but they trust you enough to let you put stuff together and choose what
Yeah,
you do. Like at that point, because it's a special situation. It's very cool, very cool.
yeah, no, and it's one of those things that I genuinely don't try to take for granted, and it just like I mean, we can fast forward to this year. I worked Matt Hardy. I did a singles match with Matt Hardy, and I basically put the whole thing together. And in the middle of the match, we're doing Matt's comeback, and he's giving me the 10 delete head to the turnbuckle.
Mm-hmm.
And in the back, he had mentioned, I want to do 10. And I was like, I bet we could get all four buckles,
Oh wow.
you know? And he was like, You think? I go, Dude, they're going to be with it. I promise you. And he goes, Okay, we'll try it. If they're not with it, we'll cut it short. I'm like, Absolutely. And when we're headed to the third buckle, Matt's got me by the head. He goes, I'm having the time of my life. And I was just like, How does any of this make sense?
Yeah.
At all? Like, I'm in the ring with Matt freaking Hardy. Like,
Pitching something to him that he loves that
yeah,
works.
yeah. And he's in mid match. I'm having the time of my life. I'm like, what?
Is that
Life
your
is
first
so
time
weird.
wrestling, Matt Hardy?
Yeah, that was, yeah.
Very cool. How was he
Uh,
overall? Like, cool guy?
beyond the best. I mean, just it was one of it, like I can't even really summarize it in words. It's just like one of those everything you wanted it to be, or everything I wanted it to be, it was that times six. It was just so stupid cool. Where like I pitched an idea for the finish. Like Matt came to me, he was like, What do you want to do? And I was like, well, you're Matt Hardy, so I'm gonna just fall down for you, is how that's gonna work. And he's like, Oh, no, 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 no. Do you have ideas? And the big idea, that the only thing I was really married to that I really wanted to do is like now that I'm doing this crazy thing, I sit and I clap and I rock.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, so I'm laying this out. Like I sit and I clap and I rock. I go, what if I hit you with the twist of fate? And when we land, instead of me taking a back bump, I'll land to my butt and I'll sit and clap and rock and sell it. So you just stand over me and you start doing the delete. While I'm sitting and clapping and rocking, I turn around, boot me, twist of fate, 1, 2, 3. And he goes, Oh my God, yes. He goes, I'm never on that side of the no sell. He goes, I'm always the guy that's having to hit the move and somebody else no sells it. He goes, I've never got to do it. I was like, Oh my God, well,
Even
tonight's your
better.
night, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dream the dream. It's real. Uh, and so he was like, Well, what else you got? I'm like, well, what if we do this? What if we do this? And I got this. And it's literally me just pitching ideas. And Matt just, Oh my God, I love that. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, yeah, we can do that. And I'm just like, This is on freaking real, right? Like, especially since I got to bring my son and he's losing his mind because, like, one of my all-time favorite moments as a dad and as a wrestling fan was I took my boys to WrestleMania 33, and that's when the Hardys came back
Mm.
in the ladder match. And
Thunderous reaction.
well, somehow I had been able to block the thought from even entering their mind. Like it had been openly discussed, like, "Ooh, I think the Hardys are coming back," but for whatever reason, it didn't click with them. They didn't hear it. So Xavier Woods, who's family. I mean, my kids call him Uncle Austin. Like he's family to me. Uh, he's part of the, he's out there doing the cell job right before the Hardys come out. And I remember Jacob, who's my youngest son, who's the wrestling fan. My eldest son doesn't care. Uh, but Jacob, he's mini me. I mean, just he lives, breathes, dies off this pro wrestling stuff. But as they're doing this promo, he looks at me. He goes, "Do you think Uncle Austin's going to be in this match?" And I was like, "I don't know, baby." He goes, "Man, that would be cool. I can't think of anybody cooler." And then that, and I mean, we're in an outdoor stadium, and the place is literally shaking. And just looking over and watching it dawn on my boys, it's the Hardys. They're here and they're in this match, and then watching them progressively lose their mind like everybody else in that stadium. It's just one of my all-time favorite wrestling moments and favorite dad moments. And then you fast forward a couple years, and I'm telling Matt Hardy what he's going to do in his match.
Incredible.
Right? Like, you can't write that kind of stuff.
Do you remember what company this was for?
AML.
AML, okay. Because I wasn't sure if the match was out there for people to check out.
Yeah, I think it's, it might be out there. I'm also insane and I can't ever watch myself. So it's possible the match is out there. I'll just never watch it.
Still super cool, super cool.